On March 1st, 1867, Nebraska was granted statehood. This year, the state is celebrating its sesquicentennial. Why is it fitting that we commemorate this milestone in history with a physical activity incentive program, the NE 150 Challenge? Why do we need to promote physical activity participation? The reason I'm proposing is related to historical perspective and the answer to this question. Why are people today being compared to polar bears in the Sahara Desert? Here are some clues. Would the polar bear enjoy spending time in the sand? Probably not. What do zoos try to create for the animals in their care? They replicate their natural habitat, the environment that the animal is built for or adapted to. You probably didn't need any of my hints because you had the answer when I first asked the question. Why are people today being compared to polar bears in the Sahara Desert? Here's the response I was looking for. The modern world is not a natural environment for human beings. We live in a modern world, but fundamentally we are still cavemen and cavewomen. The world we inhabit has changed significantly in a very short period of time. However, our physiology hasn't. It is still essentially the same as that of our hunter-gatherer ancestors. We are designed for the hunter-gatherer world, not the modern world. Human beings have been around for hundreds of thousands of generations. For almost all of that time, the environment we inhabited was very different than it is today. Our hunter-gatherer ancestors led very physically active lives because their situation required it. However, in just the last few generations, technology has dramatically changed the world we live in. Regular physical activity is no longer necessary because technology has made most physical activity optional. Living a sedentary lifestyle has become possible because movement no longer occurs automatically. Today, we have to choose to move.
Way back then, we had the horse and carriage.
There was no television then. People listen to the radio.
Get the clothes out, wash them on the washboard.
And then the calculators got smaller and smaller.
The 45 would drop and it would play.
If you held the rabbit ears in exactly the right position.
I used to have to parallel park myself.
The new LS. Unprecedented.
Here's an example of how much activity levels have changed. 10,000 steps per day are suggested as a goal to progress to for good health. The average Omahan might get about 4,000 steps in the course of their typical day, less than half as many as recommended. So how many steps did people get just a few generations ago before relying on today's modern technology? Let's look at old order Amish individuals. They're farmers, but they don't use tractors. They pull plows behind horses because they don't use modern technology. In their usual day, they get almost 20,000 steps. That's twice as many as the guidelines, and they don't need to put on Lycra spandex and go to a fitness center to get them. Our bodies are designed for a physically active lifestyle. We are built to move. Unfortunately, without adequate physical activity, the body, mind, and spirit suffer. How physically active are you? Could you move more and sit less? Can you find additional opportunities for activity? Physical activity doesn't need to be time-consuming, difficult, and dull to be beneficial. An effective strengthening exercise can be completed in less than 2 minutes, a stretch in less than 1, and cardio can be accumulated in multiple short bouts throughout the day. Historical milestones, like Nebraska's sesquicentennial, prompt us to remember yesterday, think about today, and plan for tomorrow. Take this opportunity to reflect on your past, assess the present, and plan your future. Make your good life even greater. In the time since Nebraska has gained statehood, the world has changed significantly. Physical activity has gone from being automatic to becoming optional. Do your cave person physiology a favor, choose to move more and sit less.